They say the Earth remembers, but at 953 Dominion Road, the Earth was forced to hide a nightmare. Welcome back to part 3 of our deep dive as we look into the life and the crimes of Willie Pickton. If you're just joining us, we have traced the evolution of a man who was raised in a literal pigsty, enabled by a mother who chose blood over broke, a city that turned a blind eye to the less dead, the women of the downtown east side whose disappearance were met with a shrug from authority. Today we're going to go behind the police tape of a $70 million investigation. We're talking the forensic nightmare that awaited investigators as they sifted through the soil of Port Coquitlam. From the discovery of IDs and antifreeze syringes to the gruesome reality of the slaughterhouse that handled more than just livestock. All right. Hi. Hello from everybody in the listening world. This is your girl Cass and your boy Eddie. And welcome back to another episode of True Crime and Other Shit. We are so sorry, y'all. Last week was crazy. I was sick. My dog was sick. The world was burning down. But now we're back. So, Eddie, what's been going on with you?
Nothing much, man. Just enjoying life, snowboarding, doing different things in life, trying different things. Why not, man?
I feel you.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go ahead and get into the trigger warnings real quick because we definitely have a lot. This week we are definitely looking into drug use, death, of course, mutilation of corpses, the works. So again, if you are sensitive to those things, definitely this is not the episode for you. Maybe tune in next week. Eddie has an interesting case for us next week, so we'll be listening to him recount a very interesting story that he found. So,
Yup.
all right. So where did we leave off last time? I think we saw Lynn, and she was watching Willie murder a woman and about
Yeah.
ready to slaughter.
So
Okay.
I think the last thing we really talked about was old girl who went to the hospital and then she had the handcuffs on, and then Willie had the key in his pocket and went to the same hospital. Not
Yeah,
that
we
smart, in
did
my
that.
opinion. Yeah, I think that's where we left off last.
We did that, and then we did Lynn, because remember, she walked into the slaughterhouse, and
And
Willie
seen
told
it.
her that if she spoke, she was going to be next.
Correct the window. All right.
Okay.
Yep. We caught up.
All right, cool. So there are several other women that go missing during this time, and I wish I could, like, touch on all of them, but, I mean, he killed 49 women, so we unfortunately don't have the time to give everybody the attention that they deserve. But there was this one that I really want to touch on. There's this girl named Wendy. She went missing, and actually a 14-year-old was the one who saw her go missing. And she tried to speak to the police about it, and then they were like, just stay in a child's place. Like, you don't know anything about this. You need to go back inside and go play with your Barbie dolls. Which kind of is the reason why we're in this mess in the first place with Willie, because the police really just weren't listening to anybody. Like, the neighbors were saying, like, hey, like, this isn't right, we got this going on,
Well,
like, this
strange over here.
it's a
Yeah.
little strange. And they're just like, prostitutes, what are you gonna do? Like, it was really messed up. And then a lot of, like, the police officers now, especially like the investigators, they're like, damn, like, I really tried everything to get people to take this case serious, but they just wouldn't take it serious. And, like, some of them feel an immense amount of guilt, and I'm like, you can't wear that, you know like, you tried your best to really, like, get everybody in line with what you had going on. So the police started realizing more and more go missing, and they are all last seen around Port Coquitlam. And
Yeah.
they're like, you know what? I think this might have something to do with Mr. Willie Pickton. I think after all these years, they're starting to put two and two together.
Yeah.
And like I said in the beginning, this is a $70 million investigation. So they're doing all of the things. And by the end of it, the police had a warrant to start combing by the land like bit by bit. And this farm was huge. They start finding like body parts everywhere. They're buried. They are like in buckets. They have like somebody's head was like refrigerated. It was a mess. And they also started finding IDs and apparently syringes filled with antifreeze. And that's the reason why he liked getting women who use drugs. Is because he's like, you know, if I inject them with the antifreeze, it's like, okay, they was just shooting up anyways. And their death would have just been ruled an overdose. And they wouldn't have even looked into it, which is absolutely wild.
Yeah.
So the police are at the farm and they see that this is in disarray. They see that the pigs are being abused and killed. And Willie, I feel like at some point he just goes off the fucking rails. Like, you know, you've seen like the pigs, they get the bolt gun that they use like right between the eyes to go ahead, you know, very quick, very painless death. He just starts using a nail gun for no reason. This man is going fucking insane. Like, I don't like, and then there was a police officer who actually was there, and the police officer was like, bro, like, I have animals. Like, why are you abusing these animals for no reason? Like, I don't know. That to me, I am really against like animal cruelty of any kind. And the fact that you're just being inhumane while slaughtering these animals, they're already raised to slaughter. Like, why are you making it worse? You feel me? So apparently the pigs had like fungus in their hooves and infection. And remember, he's like selling these pigs still for meat, and these are sick pigs that he's selling. And usually serial killers, I don't know if you've ever like paid attention to like the psychology of it, but a lot of them are animal lovers. And they don't like to see animals hurt. So to see that he was just not taking care of his animals was very uncharacteristic for an average serial killer.
Well, I don't know. That's usually where they first start off at like torturing animals and stuff. From what like I remember some of the stuff ones that I've seen or like remember. So it's
Yeah,
like
that's how they start. But then they start getting rules. And then they're like, yeah, like maybe I shouldn't be hurting animals, because usually like they have like a reason. They're like, okay, like I hate women, so all women should die, but this animal here, innocent.
Got it. Okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
But you gotta remember though, he started with killing animals though. Like on the factor of like his mom messed it up for everybody. Not gonna lie to you.
She fucked it up for everybody.
Soon as he had that, like I have my prize cow, and then his dad said, "Yeah, what prize cow? Eat this cow." He was like, "Yeah, no, every living thing is worth killing. There's nothing to love." So I mean, yeah,
That's definitely where he lost his faith in humanity, and I think that's probably also where he started hating women, is because his mom was like, and he's probably like, how could somebody be so devious and cold, you know? So
yeah.
I think that's kind of where this all stemmed from. And
Oh no, the rejection for women came from like when he was a kid, and like there was like he was like probably had that one little crush, and then was
it's
like,
always that one girl.
listen, everybody take heartbreak different, but a psychopath take it to a different level, whole different level.
He ended up killing 49 women because like he got rejected when he was a kid. And that also just goes to show that something's not really connecting, because I mean, we've all been rejected by our crush, you know, we've all been on the playground and it's like, no, I don't want to be your girlfriend or your boyfriend, and you're just like,
Oh, that's different. Like, yeah, you get hurt. Yeah.
you're a little hurt, but you know, you're like, whatever. So
He didn't get that there's millions of fish in the sea conversation with his pops.
no, he never got that conversation. His mom was out slaughtering
his dad and
prized
mom
possession.
said, "Nah, cut that fish open and rip his heart out." That's what they pretty much said.
You might be onto something.
And then on top of it, it's not like he ain't just killed somebody when he was a kid too. I like between the prime
Facts.
pig and then also the dude that got hit and got put in a ditch. His mom just acted like, oh yeah, it's just another pig. He said, I guess human lives don't really matter.
Right.
Dead.
So, okay, so the hooks where you hung like the pigs up, like you hang the pigs up for slaughter, they still had pieces of human flesh on them from where he was hanging up the women, which is so gross. And they had to use so much equipment to dig up all of the parts of these women. They had to use things like backhoes and earth movers. I just found out what an earth mover was. And like, I didn't even know that that was a piece of machinery until this. And they're just finding little pieces of human remains. And they have a refrigerated trailer out on the property, and they're picking up little tiny pieces of these human remains and putting them in the freezer. And I'll go around to families in the area and they say, hey, if you have somebody missing, could you please submit DNA? And they're having to do DNA matches, and they're like literally having to go piece by piece and put together different humans and then also match them up with the DNA, which is so tedious and so sad. And a lot of people have moved from the area. A lot of people aren't in contact with their family anymore. So there's still a ton of women who, they weren't really like able to be found or matched with anybody. There's still a ton of them. And like I said, they went into the slaughterhouse and they just found buckets and buckets of human remains in the freezer. And they would like open up the freezer and a human head is sitting there, and they found like a skull of another woman and her hands and feet were just shoved into it. It was just absolute pure chaos. And what the police were able to determine was Willie was the one killing them. Surprise, surprise. He was slaughtering them, dismembering them, putting them in the meat grinder, selling the meat to all of Canada, and feeding the hogs the remainder of what was, not able to be ground in the meat grinder.
Yeah.
And then whatever the hogs don't eat, with hogs just usually don't use teeth and hair, they don't eat that. Then he would send that off to the rendering plant to be made into jello, makeup, any byproducts of any type of pork. I think marshmallows. I don't, like, those things that are byproducts of pigs. Like that's kind of what they were using it for, which is
I'm about to say the investigator. I've seen the interview where the investigator came on to the scene and had to tell everybody about like that man. I'm give you a ring at him of what he said. This man came on to it. He said, "Well, guys, nah, that serious,
face.
bro. Like he was over. He was like, I don't even know how to tell you this. Cause I think he might have ate some of it too. Cause he was like, yeah. So we were going through cause he pretty much was telling people. He told the audience, yeah, everybody that's been eating pork for the last couple of years, we're all cannibals. Even you. Like, that's pretty much what he was saying. Because he was like, yeah, I ain't gonna lie. Like, he's been mixing the human remains with the pig remains. And I don't know how to tell y'all this, but this is how I'm going. Yeah, he pretty much was saying that, but in a very formal way. and he just said, yeah, if you got any type of pig byproduct in your deep freezer right now, you may possibly have some human remains on it. That's how he brought it up to everybody.
And what's really crazy is that, some of the pigs he ended up selling and stuff like that. And by that time, all the people that had those pigs, they were like, because they were getting some of the pigs and they were testing to see like their stomach lining and if they bought it recently and see if they've like consumed any type of like human remains. And a lot of them, they were just like, look, we don't even have that pig anymore. We ended up selling that pig. And then I think a lot of the humans that were consuming that meat, they probably were just so embarrassed that they were just like,
I'm not
And
saying
we're gonna
like.
pretend like this never happened.
And to be honest with you, let's think about it. When's the last time you actually read like you went to the store, you bought some meat, and then you when's the last time you actually read which farm it actually comes from? Unless it's on the label, like it comes from. You're not really
Like this
doing a
farm,
deep
you're not
dive.
paying
Yeah,
attention.
you're
You
not paying
look at
attention.
the fat percentage, the leanness or whatever,
Yeah.
and that's
That's
probably
about
about
it.
it.
You're looking to see if it's pork, fish, or whatever it is, chicken, and you're like, okay, that's about it. I'm gonna throw it in the cart. That's it. And what's the price? That's it.
Right, that's
Boy,
all
when
you
I tell
got.
you, and it wasn't like he was just like, like some backyard. This buddy was a $1 million farmer. So he's one
Yeah,
of those big farmers.
huge
Like,
farmer.
yeah, they probably did. Canada, y'all, yeah. I think that's
Yeah.
probably why they move over to Turkey. After that, they're like, yeah, no, Canadian bacon is now turkey. 'Cause, yeah,
I
nah,
didn't
that,
think about that.
that incident will definitely change your life right there. You'd be like, yeah,
That is so funny, but
yeah.
for real, like, oh my God. Like, I don't even know what I would do if I were to get that call, like, or see that on the news. Like, imagine you're sitting at home and you cooking dinner for your family and you look over to the news. It's like, hey, that probably has some human remains in it.
Don't want to alarm you,
Don't want to alarm you, but yeah,
but
yeah. So, did you get into when he was actually captured?
I did.
You did?
So yeah, so like when he was first captured, I don't even know why he was first captured. I didn't find that out. Which woman did they like actually? Oh yeah, like we're really bringing you in this time. I didn't know like why he was, but I seen where he pretty much got called in for the stabbing in the handcuff situation, and then he was trying to describe it. Like I got like the actual video of him like telling the cops. There was like three different cops in the room with him, and he's like, "Yeah, man, like I don't." She just went crazy, and then she tried to stab me. So of course I stabbed her back. I stabbed her twice. This, that, and third, blah, blah, blah. And then they pretty much started asking. So let me ask you. All right, did you bring any other prostitutes to the farm? He said, well, not after that
Maybe like
situation.
one or two.
No, he said, no, not after that situation. No, no, no more. They said, well, what about before? He said, I mean, nah. Like he tried to play it off as a joke. So that's what happened with that. And then of course, we got like the one with the cop where they send in the cop, which is also kind of funny because they didn't know if they could.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm about to say, yeah, it was a possible, is the possibility of it being inadmissible, and because it's unethical technically to send in an undercover cop into a prison. Like
Yeah.
everybody knows you can do undercover, like send somebody undercover in the actual like okay
I mean, it's
situation
kind
and
of
outside.
entrapment, but I don't know the laws
Right.
in Canada. So,
And that's what they were. That's what like provinces. They were like provinces and states and different things like that. They had to check to see if it was going to be ethical in that certain province that they were trying to prosecute them in. So,
I know that, like, one of the funny things, I was listening to a Morbid podcast, and they were talking about when they had um, the undercover cop in the jail cell with them, and I wish I had that recording. Maybe I could find it, but it was so funny because they were like, he was just saying like fuck a lot, and he was like, you could tell like this guy was not a criminal, like he was just trying to play a role, and he was like, what the fuck, what the fucking fuck did you fucking do? What the fucking, you send them to a fucking rendering fucking plant fucking? Like, it's just like,
yeah,
he was being like too extra about it. And I think that anybody normal, like, probably would have been like, bro, like, is you cool? Like, I don't, you're a narc, bro.
so I'm about to say. So the funny thing about it was they I guess they interviewed the people that like do the training for the investigation to try to like give insight about like okay, well when they're in the training, how do they learn how to be undercover? That's actually one of the things that they tell them. They tell them pretty much like to excessively cuss to try to play it off as if you are
One of
you're
them.
cool, you're with
Yeah.
them type deal. What was the other thing they
Because a
said? They
cop wouldn't
said
swear that much, I guess. which
Yeah, nah, they told the cop to swear as much as possible. They told him come up with as many stories. Like they wanted to bait him. So
guess
the
what I
main,
fucking did? I fucking stabbed fucking 6 people last fucking weekend. Fucking
and then that's exactly actually did you, and that's how they gotta came up with the whole, like the whole scenario of finding out whether it was 49, how many women it was, how did he do it? Because the cop story was that he had killed somebody or something like that. He was pretty
yeah.
much coming in for the same exact thing. And how he was disposing of the bodies was he was throwing it into the ocean. He was like,
Okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I throw the
And that's
bodies.
how they
I
caught
take
him. It
them.
was like, oh yeah,
Yeah,
he's
they're
like,
like, yeah,
and
I take the bodies and I throw them in the ocean and this, that, and the third, and then it's a whole lot easier to throw them in the ocean. I mean, like, and then he started saying, well, I ain't even think about the ocean. This is how I did it, and then that's how they found out how he did and like got rid of everybody. Because that's when he said, yeah, I just chopped. I had chopped them up, and then you just feed the remnants to the pigs and everything, and
take the
like
rest of the rendering plant.
and then just go back and forth or go through it.
But like the thing is like I heard that he was like bragging and was really like, damn, like I can't believe they caught me before I got to make it to 50. Like that fucking sucks and stuff like that. I'm like, how sick are you, bro?
Yeah.
Because I couldn't make it to the big 50, like,
So yeah,
I
that
don't know.
they don't know, and that's where it's like it might be fabricated because they're trying to say they don't know if it's fabricated on the purposes of that. Like he's trying to like get one up on the undercover cop and try to make it seem like, oh yeah, I'm bigger than what I am, but
Yeah.
like they pretty much came up with, okay, he's admitting to at least 49. That's what he's saying, at least
Yeah.
to us. And then what else happened? It was a whole bunch, like the whole him getting into it, and then also how he told about how, oh yeah, I started getting sloppy. Like he said, oh, I
Yeah.
was pinpoint accurate on the first 20. The first 20 I was pinpoint accurate on, but then once I got to the last little couple bit, I got sloppy. So I'm not surprised that I'm here. It's kind of like he was trying to, in his mind, say, I deserve to be here because I got sloppy on my end.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah.
But I didn't get a chance to because I fell ill. Get into like the court case. So do you want to break that down for us?
Yes. Yes, I do. You actually type crazy.
All right, let's get
Um,
into it. I'm
so
excited.
going into the court case, first of all, because of how much it was, I think it was unprecedented how everything went down. Like they didn't know, like, okay, you don't have the full bodies to be able to charge him successfully for everything. So they broke it down to two trials. And
Okay.
there was one trial for the, I think, six women that they could identify. It's almost like they had whole bodies, like they had enough to identify who that was. Then they had another trial separate for the women that were like remnants. Now you could find remnants, like little small pieces, chunks of DNA, and then they'll send it off and be like able to match it. They at least could get kidnapping, some type of murder from them, but like, you know what I'm saying? They didn't feel like they had enough evidence, so they're like, okay, we don't want to mess this up to where it's like, okay, if we put them all together, he's not getting charged because of this certain situation. It's a very fragile thing. So because if you OD excessively, say, oh yeah, first degree murder for everybody, but technically he didn't get first degree for this over here, and it becomes a split decision jury wise, he runs away free. So to break it down, they said, you know what? We're gonna break it down in two different trials. And that's where, like, okay, we get all the people coming in and testifying, and I think his friend at the time that witnessed the murders, she came in and she gave in the harsh details of everything, and that's pretty much what got him. That was the really big one. How she like described, like she seen the red toenails and everything, and the blood coming down. She came in and gave her recount of everything she seen.
That was Lynn.
Yeah, that was Lynn. So
Oof.
Lynn came in and gave everything. That helped out. That pretty much sealed the deal for the ones that they could get. And then let me see here. The funny thing about it, like in the conclusion of it, He actually was found not innocent. I mean, not guilty. He was found not guilty.
Hold on, what?
Yes, he was found not guilty. Um, Dang, what was the reason that he was found not guilty? Like, he was found not guilty of first degree murder. First degree murder, he was found not guilty of. Because
Okay.
actually, I'm not gonna lie to you. Through the trial, the jury started to believe that Lynn and other people were associated. Like, it's like
Of
he
the
was the
shooting.
downfall man. Yeah, like he was just the downfall.
So
So,
would that
in
be
truth,
like second degree?
correct.
So
He
they
pretty
charged
much
him with the wrong thing.
technically no. That's why, and exactly why they broke it down into like what it was. Because if they would have charged him with first degree, and they would have charged him with the first degree of it for all of them, he would have got off pretty much free.
Completely.
Exactly, because
Ooh,
he's
that would have
not
been a
guilty of
swing and a
first
miss.
degree.
Ooh, that would have been bad.
So, like, they're like, okay, bet we'll take that second degree. You know what I'm saying? They're like, we'll
Yeah.
take that second degree, boom, boom. But I really feel like, if you want me to be honest with you, they like the way that the trial went down. I don't feel like they were actually trying to go for Willie Pickton. They were not, yeah, they were not trying to go for him. They were not trying to go for him. Who they were trying to get, and if you want me to be honest, like I feel like they were trying to get a RICO for the actual. Because remember, he was with who?
Oh shit, the Hell's Angels.
I feel
So
like they were
he was
trying to
just
get
a
a RICO.
casualty of war. They were probably already looking into the Hell's Angels and then they
Correct.
stumbled upon this. So
Correct.
they were probably like, you not even the real problem for real,
They,
for real.
to be
You're
honest, I'm
really over
surprised they
here
didn't
trying
like.
to get this Rico.
They're trying. I feel like they were
Damn.
trying to get a RICO together for the Hell's Angel. It's just they didn't never say like, oh yeah, we're like he's part of a bigger da da da. But like once they kind of seen like, oh nah, you're really the one killing everybody. We gotta take you down. Because I
Yeah.
feel like if he never admitted to the 49, if he never admitted to anything, they probably would have been like, do you want to
Let
get a
him
plea
go.
deal? Would you like to get a plea deal to admit for the Hells Angels doing a lot of this, that, and third, and you
Yeah.
tell us who's who and this, that, and third? He probably could have got a plea deal. He just talked too much.
Yeah, and like that's
Yeah.
exactly kind of what happened with Andy. Like Andy unfortunately wasn't able to go to the trial. I know that he didn't start talking about this whole entire ordeal until it was long done. But I mean, he was beaten within the inches of his life. You remember the boy? He was in his room
Oh
and he
yeah,
like,
stayed over at the
yeah,
ranch.
like I
Yeah.
like to, choke him out and all of this stuff, and
Hmm.
like that shit is like that's crazy. Like I never even thought about it that way. Like they probably never would have put two and two together if the Hell's Angels wouldn't have been running around on his damn property.
Correct.
Damn.
So then,
And do they have Ricos in Canada? Like, is that like a real thing? Like Ricos? Because I know it's like
Rico,
it's a big thing here.
yeah, I don't know if I mean it's probably like an
Or how
organized
it's
crime. I
handled.
don't know if it's called like RICO, but I'm pretty
Rico,
sure they do have
yeah.
an organized crime like
Canada, I
syndicate.
see y'all listening
Like,
out
yeah.
there. Let us know, like, what, like, Rico would be like a racketeering charge here. So, like, what would be the equivalent of that there? If somebody could let me know, that would be fantastic.
Yeah. So that's pretty much how that went down. And they tried to get the I forgot what her name was that testified.
Lynn?
Yeah, they were trying to get her. They were trying.
Because she was cleaning up crime scenes and she's like, I don't
Exactly.
like
So
talking
they
to the police
yeah,
because
so
they
that's
hate
why it
what you
was like
say.
they just went with the second degree. But I mean, he still went to jail. He still got life. He still got life regardless. Um that was just pretty much it. Then of course he went to jail, and then there you go with life. Well, pretty much his life going into jail. But do you want to talk about that, or you want me to like kind of wrap that up?
Uh, go into
Go
it.
ahead,
Go
Rep.
into it a little bit.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So pretty much, he pretty much he lived all the way to 77 or 74. I believe it was 74.
I think he just died not too long ago.
Yeah, he was killed. He was
He was
killed.
killed
He was killed.
in prison.
Yes. Yeah. The dude that was inside the prison, like his cellmate, came in there, and I think either he got moved or the cellmate got moved into it. And see, I guess he just didn't stop bragging. For all the time he was in there, he never stopped bragging about like killing them, about
People
how he
don't like
killed
when
them.
you do
Brody
things
was
to
like,
women.
bro, there's no way you could talk about it for this much, like for this long. He said it went on for he said it went on for weeks, months, and then he just had enough, so he killed him. He just stabbed him. He just stabbed him over and over, and then they had to. He pretty much got stabbed, was alive for about I think 14 days before he was pronounced dead.
I'm never going to say that anybody deserves to die, but what I am going to say is God's timing is always right.
That's actually one of the testimonies that when it came out that he died, the I think it was the sister, one of the sisters of the woman who died who was killed by him. She pretty much came on the news and she was like telling like he really took, I think it was either her aunt or her sister. He was like he took her from us, and like when I heard the news, I just kind of went through a flood of emotions, which I mean, to be honest with you, I expect
Yeah.
that. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? She was saying like how at first she's like, I don't even feel like he was tortured enough, but then part of her was like, I can't believe that like I'm saying that, but that's what I can't believe I didn't. But it's just she was going through that many emotions because she's like, we're not supposed to think like that. We're not supposed to fall to his level. But
Yeah.
me personally, I'd have been like, yeah, you should let me get a lick in. You know what I'm saying? Let me get
No,
a
but
little.
for real.
You
For real,
know.
for real.
So
Um,
how much money went into it? Also, is crazy, and that's what I
70
know.
million?
It was, bro.
That's a lot of money.
For it to go that much money into this case, that's how I know he was not there. Like he was not the big fish. He was not the big
Yeah.
fish. He was
Because
not.
I mean,
They
to
were
do all the
trying
DNA
to.
testing and all of that stuff that you know, that goes into like getting like all those little pieces together and stuff like that. Like, yeah, that's a lot of money. But also like you were doing a full-on investigation of the entire farm, which includes the Hells Angels. That's a lot of digging into their shit. And somebody
Correct.
who's monitoring that situation and somebody who's asking those questions. Like you have to have a whole nother police force basically on that situation alone. So yeah.
So, because what you have to, I don't know how it works in like Canada, but I know that it works in America like this right here, to where you some evidence that you find, you can't really take that over into another case. So you
Yeah.
have to be careful about what you
Like a double
present.
jeopardy type situation.
Correct.
Yeah.
You can't go ahead and present this over here, then try to reuse it sometimes to get. Yeah, it don't work like that. So I don't know how it was built for that, but I think that's why they're like careful. But then once they did like the undercover cop, I really think they thought it was just like, oh, maybe one, two, one, two women. And I hate to say it, but because of the occupation, they were probably just gonna let him. All right, cool. Like you know what I'm saying. You take a plea deal, take about 2 years for the mess. Cool. Once they found out, no, he's the reason for all these missing women. Oh yeah. Now it's like, oh, we do gotta focus on you, dog. Nah. We can't let this shit slide. That's crazy.
Right.
So yeah, that's pretty much, and that's the story.
Heck yeah. That was good. I did not expect that in the end. I did not really think about like him not being the main target and stuff like that, but that was pretty cool. I also
Yeah.
like the way you kind of dropped that on me. I had no idea. That was
Yeah,
fun. That
with
was
the
fun.
yeah. I was still because I seen so many court cases where it's like, oh yeah, you know what? The prosecution team, they go and get like, oh yeah, we want first degree, and they don't give a plea deal for less, and they be like, no, we got you. We
Yeah.
got you. You gotta
Yeah.
remember.
Slam dunk.
Yeah, slam dunk. It's not a slam dunk. Now you're hung on the rim. Like if you know basketball, now you're hung because you're sitting here thinking it's a slam dunk, and
And
it's
it's
not
not. Yeah.
because the jury comes back and says,
That's
we don't know
embarrassing. That's
about it.
like when you
It's not
go for
enough.
the dunk and then you miss it.
Yeah, that's called getting hung. Yeah, nah, yeah, that's pretty much that's
That's called getting hung.
getting hung. Yeah, you get hung on the rim. But
That sucks.
yeah, that's why I was like, I'm glad that they went ahead and dropped it to second degree and said, you know what, let's just wrap it up. Let's just wrap it up. Get him. He gonna
Right.
go to jail for what's the name, for life anyways. What does the degree matter? Just get him in jail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That was good. But what are we doing next week? What was the case?
So I felt like it's very important that we look at this case where with the lady in what's it called, Louisiana, after the flood, Katrina, she went to jail, found out that she's actually been in jail for a very
Whoa,
long
whoa,
time.
don't give them too much. Don't give them too much.
Yeah, so we don't worry about it. We're gonna go into it. Long story short, she's been in jail for child
18 years?
neglect. Yeah,
Yeah,
no, I think it was 13. It's either 18 or
13.
13 years for child neglect, not giving quote unquote nourishment. But we will go into it soon. We'll go into it. I got y'all next week.
Cool, cool. And I don't know if you want to do this. I realize that a lot of people, they don't really know the backstory of Jeffrey Epstein, and since he's on the tip of everybody's tongue this month, this year, whatever. I definitely want to go into the backstory of that. I'll send you some more information on how we're going to do that, and then we can start combing through the actual files. Which I don't know if I really want to get that deep into it because
I don't want to get that deep into it
it's
until
bad.
because it's not only bad, but the way that it's being handled is a total misjustice by our Department of Justice.
The
I don't.
redactions are insane, and also in other countries they're not redacted.
Not only
What's
are
that
they not
about?
redacting, they're taking action. They're taking
Right.
action. Like, and
Prince
it's really
Andrew,
sad to see
prison. Okay, his ass locked up as he fucking should be.
the
Like,
prince.
now, if the royal family can see that this is a fucking problem, why can't we?
So, like I said, until we, and I feel like I want to touch on it once justice starts happening because there's no point in just kind of like just going in and talk. I'm a person of action. I'm a person that believes when we talk about it, there needs to be something that's going towards it. And yes, it is important to bring it to light and bring the actual truth to light. But I want to see actual justice that comes from this. Like, don't sit here and have me bring all this information out, and then you sit there and like, well, at least we know the truth. All right, guys, y'all go home. It is what it is. No. We want trials. We want justice.
Right.
Department of Justice, they're going to have to be crucified as well. This is ridiculous.
I feel that. Okay, so we'll do that. We'll do the case that about the lady from Katrina, and then I'll start researching Jeffrey Epstein's whole backstory so we can get that out there.
Yeah.
Then we'll do something else, and then once we start really seeing like a turn in the trials, and then we'll start jumping on that.
We'll
Cool.
jump. We'll just get into the smooth simplicities of the actual like information, and then once the
Yeah.
trial start,
Then that's
then
when
we
we're gonna hit
going
it
we
hard.
going yeah
Okay, cool.
hit
We're gonna be
hard.
in there. Okay,
Exactly.
cool. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's our game plan for the next few weeks. Thank you for tuning in for part 3. It is a little bit shorter than our average time, but I mean, it
We're
is
at
what it
part
is.
3. You know we usually
We're
do
at
two
part
parts.
3. You knew it was going downhill. Like, we just had to tell you how it went downhill real quick. Follow us on Instagram at truecrime_OS. Same on TikTok, truecrime_OS. Email us at info@truecrimeandothershit.com. Anything else, Eddie? Complain about everything.
Oh no, 100%. Complain about everything. You know what I'm saying? That's gonna be my message to you this week. If you got a complaint, state it. Don't take the lesson. Shoot for the highest. You know what I'm saying? Shoot for the stars and land on the moon. That's my message to you. Good night.
All right, thanks, everybody. Have a good night. Bye.